Hello, everyone who may tune in later to this. There's no one watching currently. So, I have never done a live stream on YouTube, but I want to figure this out and just see what it entailed. And I have a topic that I'm going to discuss today, just as I experiment with this a little bit as I get back into my YouTube game and think about what I want to be sharing with you all. So, today, what I'm going to talk about is how to set up a training program. So, I think a lot of times we overcomplicate training programs. We almost think it has to be whatever it is you see on the internet, the most popular program. There's kind of these trends you see, and you end up then following something that might not be actually ideal for your life. And so today, what I wanted to do, my background is in bodybuilding, it's in powerlifting. And so I just wanted to share some of my general tips for you all. And hopefully, I think of this post afterwards. I hope so. And maybe I'll start doing these a little bit more frequently and start doing some live videos. So first of all, I think one thing to start thinking about is, what is your goal? Is your goal to lose fat? Is it to gain strength? Is it to have functional strength? And that's really going to be an indication of what type of training program that you need to follow. Now, for me, I specialize in body composition. I specialize in training programs that are sometimes a hybrid mix of strength and hypertrophy, or just strict hypertrophy. And so if that is something that you're interested in, then definitely stay tuned and listen to what I have to say. But if your goal is functional strength or something like, I don't know, Olympic lifting or being really good at, I don't know, Ninja Warrior or something like that, then what I am going to recommend probably is not best for you. So frequency, I think that's the first thing that we oftentimes skip over, and we try to stick to a plan that's not sustainable. So if you're a mom, if you're a dad, if you have kids, if you work long hours, is that something that is going to get in the way of you being consistent with your program? And that is definitely the most important thing. So making sure that you are able to stick to whatever program it is that you have. And so thinking about, okay, how many days per week can you commit to lifting? So if it's maybe 3 days per week, you could do an upper lower full body split. If it's 2 days per week, upper lower, or maybe two full body days. And then if it comes down to you have unlimited amounts of days. Okay, well, you also have to consider your recovery. So typically I don't recommend going over 5. And one of my favorite splits for 5 days per week is a upper lower push pull lower split. And that's something that I prescribe for a lot of my clients. So as far as the structure of your program and what types of movements you incorporate, I always recommend starting with compound lifts first and then moving to accessory exercises. So compound lifts that use multiple muscle groups, so something like a bench press, something like a squat, something like a deadlift variation, or a hip hinge, or something that is going to be pretty taxing. I usually recommend having those earlier on in your training session, and then later on in your training session, adding in those accessory lifts that are going to be a little bit more isolation lifts, such as lateral raises, bicep curls, tricep pushdowns, etc. So place your most taxing lifts first, and then follow with your accessory lifts after your compound lifts. And then if you're short on time, you just get in, let's say on a leg day, you just get in a leg press or a squat, you just get in a hip hinge, like an RDL, deadlift, you're good to go. You don't necessarily have to do everything on your program that day if you're crunched for time. I think a lot of times we think, oh, it's much better if I am 100%. And if I can't be 100% on a certain day, then I'm just going to skip the gym. Much better that you are 60, 70% done with your training program and be content with that, then throw in the towel and be 0. And that's kind of that perfectionist mentality that I think a lot of times people, unfortunately, and I've been there, get stuck in, where they think, okay, I have to be perfect or it's not worth anything. And that's not true. Trust me, I have not very many perfect training days. There's some days that I'm very content with my training session, but over the past 10 years of competing, there's been a lot of days where I am not near perfect, and much more better. I can't talk. Much better to be consistent. So I hope that that's helpful. So think about, what is your goal? what is the frequency that you can sustain, what split may be ideal for you. And then also you can keep in mind too, you could do a dumbbell program, you could do an at-home program if that's all you have access to. It doesn't have to be in a gym. However, if you do have access to a gym, sometimes that's more motivating for people as well. So some basic things to think about when you're structuring your own training program, or maybe considering what program online that you see to purchase. And then, as always, if you have any questions or you are looking for coaching, specifically one-on-one, that is something I do offer. And so Katie, KAC Coaching, KAC-coaching.com. All right, well, I will end this here, and let's see if this posts. First live stream down, 5 minutes, so I'm going to keep it short and sweet. And then if you guys like this, or if I see that I can actually post this, maybe I'll do more in the future.